What's up, everybody? We are actually closed today for Thanksgiving. Everybody's off, but I figured I'd make some time to still do a stream today. So here we are. We're here with another Ask Tim stream. You guys ask me questions about your printers, whether that's troubleshooting upgrades or if you're just wondering what to get for your next printer or maybe even your first one. That's what this is for. So I do have a couple things, so I'm assuming you guys are going to be wondering, what the hell are we doing for Black Friday? So this year we are having a Black Friday sale. The sale will go live tomorrow. So basically, or sorry, not tomorrow. I misspoke. Friday. I'm thinking today's Thursday. So the 25th. So it'll go live on Friday the 25th, and it'll run through I think, what is it, the 26th at midnight is when we're cut off. So 2 days. So Friday and Saturday. I think we have it in the system here as. So deals right off the bat that I can let you guys know, because I have them up in front of me in our system. We're going to have the easy boards for $10 off. So instead of $100, they'll be $90. All filaments will be 5% off. All KVP filament will be 35% off. If you guys want to pick up some KVP filament, we've got limited quantities of that. Any B-Stocker clearance items are going to be 75% off. I'm going to go down the list here. So all multi-mount stuff, so add-ons, the multi-mount itself, those are 15% off. Nozzles, 15% off. Extruders and extruder parts, 15% off. Easy ABL kits are also 15% off. Easy Neo and all accessories for them will be 15% off as well. A bunch of random printer parts, so like fans, thermistors, screw assortments, nuts and bolts, that kind of stuff. Those will also be 15% off, along with all of our LCD kits. Hot ends, so our Creality hot ends, the Tough Hot End V2, the V1 to V2 upgrade kit, and the high flow nozzle upgrade kit for the Tough Hot ends. Those will all be 20% off, and any flex plates and easy mats. So the flex plates for the Easy Flex, the magnets for the Easy Flex, those will all be 20% off, and all tools will be 20% off, excluding the Vision Miner, because we have to have a minimum price for those. So any tools, our screwdriver kits, our snips, crimps, the crimp kits, those will all be 20% off. All of our Easy Home products. So if you're thinking about picking up an Easy Plug, or if you're into home automation and you want to get our Easy Bulb, which are our 9-watt RGBW smart bulbs, those will all be 20% off as well. The power blockers, the little things that if you have a board that's not properly engineered, like many Creality and Big Tree Tech boards and Feist Tech and ones where the LCDs stay on when you have them hooked up to the USB, even if your power's off, those will be 25% off. And all of the easy out stuff, so our filament sensor, our adapter boards, all that stuff will be 25% off. So that will all go live at midnight our time. So we're on Central Time. So our system will make that go live at midnight on Friday. So yeah, and that will run through the end of Saturday. So basically tomorrow and Saturday we'll have the sale prices, and we might be doing more stuff. I haven't decided yet, but that's everything that we for sure are doing in our system, and that's what our system will put everything on sale once the clock strikes midnight. On other things, I want to give a shout out to Bill. I don't know if Bill's watching. He usually is, but I don't know if he wants me to give his full name. I'm going to just err on the side of caution. He's usually in our chats here under the name Reasonable Being. So if you see him, but he graciously sent me this because he wasn't going to use it. Not like you can really do anything with it. This is the Ender 2 board that's got this chip on it that we don't have source code for. So I'm going to plug away at this and see if I can do something with it. Hopefully we can, but I appreciate him sending this to me. So you see this HC32 460. So right now, if you guys have this, and I'm assuming it's going to take a while to even figure out if we can do anything with it. If you have an Ender 2 Pro with this board in it, or really any other printer with this board that has that processor, the HC32, you can't update the firmware on this. The funny thing is they have a BL Touch header on here, but if you buy the official Creality BL Touch kit for the Ender 2 Pro, you can't even use it because they don't give you the firmware. So yeah, so at least I have one here in hand that I can play with. So if someone makes progress, I can help out with the testing. I haven't looked in a couple weeks, probably about a month at this point, to see if anybody's made any progress with those HC32 processors. But I appreciate him sending that to me just so I have it. So if the opportunity arises to help with testing, I can. I don't think I see him in the chat here. So, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and answer your questions. If questions are light today, then I am gonna get off early because I do have some things I need to get done around the house. We're having some people over for Thanksgiving tomorrow. I'm trying to get some things done down in the theater room in the basement, and also getting some stuff for the car. So I got some. I gotta get my HHRL cleaned and detailed, and then I got a bunch of stuff going on the F-150 I picked up a couple weeks ago. So, but anyways, I do have a practical print for you guys. I totally forgot about this. I took pictures of it. So we have in our kitchen area here, where our patio doors are, we have these these came at the house. These are just like those blinds. And one of these clips broke when we were hanging up like decorations on here. You can actually see I 3D printed little clips here, to hang like little lights, like those battery powered lights, for holiday decorations. And luckily I didn't have to design this clip. Somebody already made it. So I printed these in just a natural ABS. It was some random brand. I have no idea what brand it was. It's a roll I've had forever. But I printed these in ABS and they clipped right up. So that's my practical print for this week. It seems like I'm using the printers more and more, and I love being able to just print something instead of having to shell out, even though these probably would have been like, I don't know, $5 or $10. It's still $5 or $10 I didn't have to spend. Just some printer time, and now my Valance cover is not hanging down. So I'm just curious, what kind of stuff do you guys use? And how many of you guys have actually used your printers in ways like this to fix things around your house? Like, I'm genuinely curious. Because we all print benches, we all print calibration cubes, or, whatever your poison is for your calibration. But like, what are you guys using your printers for in terms of practical uses? Not just making parts for other printers. Like, what kind of stuff have you guys used around the house to fix things where your printer came in handy? I'm curious. I'm looking, watching the chat. I know there's a little bit of a delay with the live stream here, because I'm genuinely curious. Tor says he made hose adapters for CNC. I think you were saying to hook that up to like a vacuum, if memory serves correct. I printed a leg for a bed, old drawer slides. Okay, old drawer slides can come in handy, especially if you got something that's like, either you have no idea what the brand is or it's something weird. A cat litter scoop. I've printed one of those before. I don't scoop litter anymore because I have litter robots, but when I did have regular boxes, I did print a cat litter scoop, and they do work really well. One of my other practical prints I have is actually the dog food, in the dog food container. I have a printed dog food scoop, and it's got a little paw on it. It's cute. And I just did it out of PLA. Let's see. Nemo Griff said I designed speaker stands for my computer speakers, really old Boston speakers from like 2000. I remember those Boston speakers. Those things were freaking awesome. Those are great. I had a set of those. I also had a set of old Altec Lansings back in the beige days. Remember when computers, everything was beige? The box, the keyboard, the mouse, the monitor, the speakers, everything was beige. And then the darker colored towers, like all the black towers started coming out. And then here we are. I mean, like, I'm sitting here at a computer. Most of my stuff is all dark colored. But yeah, I remember those old Boston acoustics. Those were good. Let's see. Carlos Perez, light switch mount for rifle light, mounts for water bottles for guinea pig area, mount for laptops. Okay. I didn't think about that. I should print a better mount because we have a guinea pig, and the water bottle uses that little wire adapter, and it is terrible. He knocks it over all the time. He's almost knocked it off the cage a couple times. Vika says, fix oven handle mount for my wife's job. Awesome. Save me from replacing an oven in apartments. Let's see. Printed objects to keep doors propped open. Yeah, door stops are good. Replacement drawer knobs, a spring clip retainer. Okay. Let's see. Oversized plastic greens for a craft project. I printed timer handles for work. Railing camera mounts. Oh yeah, camera mounts are good. If you do any IP stuff, IP camera stuff. I'm really liking this. This is some awesome stuff. I made some various hangers for motorcycle hangers, drawer handles, A wire holder for soldering wires. I've seen those. Those are handy. Any tools to help you solder. A PCB vise. Let's see. Dude Blight says a cap for the pipe that my flagpole goes in when I take the pole down for bad weather. Okay, that's good. So nothing gets in there. Carlos says he designed and printed a teleprompter for some videos I'm recording for work this week. Awesome. I actually bought, so I haven't used it for any videos. I actually bought a teleprompter thing where you put your phone in it and like the lens for this camera shoots through it. And I just couldn't get it. I tried for like a week and it just felt so unnatural. So if you guys are ever watching our videos, especially like, well, obviously live, but even like our videos that I edit and upload, I am not doing that with any sort of like script. I usually have just like some talking points, but all of the videos and the dialogue in said videos, I am doing just as I'm recording them. Like I'm not writing a script. I know a lot of YouTubers, even in the 3D printing space, they use scripts and stuff. I don't. Yeah. So maybe I'll revisit it. It's sitting in my garage somewhere. Either that or I'm gonna sell it. It wasn't cheap. I think it was like $200 or $300, but it was a nice unit. All right, we'll read a couple more and then we'll get to the questions here. So printed air monitor parts for my work, risers for a laser, phone holder at my desk. I have headphone stands downstairs in my basement office, which I haven't streamed from in a while. I should probably update OBS and stream from there. I was going to, but I was like, I don't think everything's ready to go because there've been a lot of updates. Let's see. Printed a ton of wall mounts for stuff around the house. Had to design my own a couple times. Yeah, wall mounts, ceiling mounts. I have a Google Home mount in my basement in the gym where I have a Google Home Mini that's bolted to the ceiling. In the guest bathroom, I actually have one that goes on the outlet cover that gives it a little shelf. My neighbor actually wants me to print some for her, which just reminded me because I was going to find a model. She wants the ones where the little Google Homes, it hangs from the adapter. And then, let's see. Might be trivial, but the hook for my wife's broom handle broke. I designed and printed one. That's a great thing because like little stuff like that, it may not seem like a lot, but if you have a spot and you hang it up by it, now that thing is hanging around where it shouldn't be. And, I am very much somebody who tries to make sure everything has a place. So if the thing can't go back in its place, you know, that stresses me out because then it ends up in the way of everything. Design and print a stand for my small flashlight so I can stand up and point to the ceiling. That's nice, especially if like you have power issues or the power goes out. Printed a riser for my wife's Cricut. A mount for my trackball mouse. Oh, like one of those ones. I hate those things, but if you use them, great. Curtain rod holders, tool cases and mounts. Those M18 battery mounts that I showed on one stream, they're great. I printed 5 more of them. I got 6 of them total, and they're awesome. I can just charge my batteries and throw them on the pegboard. I gotta print some tool mounts. That's what I need to do. So. All right, let's get to the questions here. So, all right, let's go ahead and get to the questions. So, the first question we have here is from Vic as he said, do you have any recommendations for an industrial plug-and-play machine? Will use by... Oh. Krista's computer just started playing my voice. Okay, this is interesting. I gotta turn that off. It's screwing with me. Hang on. Hello. Let me shut it off. Okay. I think it went to sleep. All right. Anyways, will be used by little printing spares, mainly used in a shop for mock-up and making signs. Yeah, something like that. I'd probably go with like an altimeter, something that they have somebody they can call for help using the printer. Does that make sense? That's where you're going to get a value add out of paying more for a printer like that is if you have people that need technical support. And that's what you're paying for when you buy something like an Altimaker. I know Prusa is supposed to have decent support, but I don't think they're as responsive as someone like Altimaker or like Lulzbot. I don't know how Lulzbot is these days in terms of support. I have not heard good things about their newer printers. So, like I know, I'm not going to say his name because I don't know if he's under an NDA or something. but he had their new Sidekick, and he's had, and as a reviewer, they have replaced the machine 4 different times because of all sorts of different issues with it. So I'd probably stay away from Ultimaker, or not Ultimaker, Lulzbot. So ad during a live stream. Oh, well, that's great. YouTube's got to make their money somehow, right? All right. So let's see. 3D Experiments is the next one. It says reliable nozzle material for printing wood filament. Can I just use the nozzle for everything else too? So in my opinion, and this is one of our products, there are others like this, but obviously I use our stuff, otherwise I wouldn't be selling it. If for wood filaments, okay, you don't need anything special because it's not abrasive. So you can use brass. But if you want to print stuff that's abrasive, like glow-in-the-darks, nylons, carbon filled stuff, metal filled stuff. One thing I will recommend is that at the very least, if you're printing wood filaments, is to go to a 0.6 nozzle, because 0.4 nozzles, the particles in most filaments, and even in like glow-in-the-dark filaments, will clog a 0.4. For example, like Krista was printing some glow-in-the-dark stuff from Coax with the 0.4 on the Revo, and it actually got a clog because there was a particle from the glow-in-the-dark that was larger, just slightly larger than the nozzle. It was enough to get it to stop extruding. So I would definitely at the very least go up a size to a 0.6 if you're going to be printing stuff with fill in it. Most manufacturers of filament will recommend that. But if you want a nozzle that you can throw anything at, our Easy Flows are really good for that. They're about $15, and those will be on sale for 15% off starting Friday through Saturday. So, and what those are a copper nozzle, so they're actually a softer material than brass, but what makes them stand up to the abrasives is they have a nice plating on them that makes them hard and resistant to wear. So, oh, excuse me. As of right now, I have Easy Flows that have run carbon fiber, glow-in-the-dark, all sorts of stuff that are over a year old, that have had a lot of abrasives through them, and they still perform like they did brand new. So they are a long-lasting nozzle. So yes, you are spending more up front, but it's kind of a buy once, cry once type of thing. It's just a great all-around nozzle, and not only the abrasive resistance is nice, but it also transfers heat better. So you can get a little bit faster feed rates, even on your stock hot end and your stock extruder, where you would start getting, you know, the material backing up because it can't melt it as fast. That copper material is more efficient at transferring the heat to the filament than even brass, to the point where we recommend you usually drop your print temp by about 10°C if you're having issues where it looks like it's the filament's overheating. It is very efficient, even on like a stock Creality hot end. So when we carry those for the Creality hot end, so the MK8 style nozzles, we carry them for the V6 nozzles, and we also have them for the Volcano size. So we have those 3 sizes, and we have them from 0.4, I think, up to 1.0. It's either 0.8 or 1.0. So, but yeah, let's see. Because these 2 printers, part 2, okay, the question, the printers will be in a government setting, so the company needs to be willing to deal with government BS. Yeah, definitely go with something like Ultimaker. That's where they have their place, is, you know, they've got people that don't know how to use a printer, they're going to need help, and they're okay with dealing with government purchasing habits, which we do have some clients that are educational and government, and, you know, there's more steps required to service them. They usually do like net 30s and all sorts of other things. The experience is the next question. He said, can I use a 0.6 nozzle for prints when I want to minimize layer lines? I'm assuming you meant by like reduce them. Minimizing, when you say minimize, my brain's thinking like making them less apparent. But a 0.6 nozzle will give you the ability to do thicker layers. So you'll see them more. I don't mind that. I like seeing that. But the rule of thumb is typically you don't want to exceed 80% of your nozzle diameter in your layer height, if that makes sense. So like a 0.4, I think, would be like 0.32 max layer height. A 0.6 is like 0.48. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. I think in general, a 0.6 is a good all-arounder. There are some situations where you might lose some detail going to a 0.6, but for most people, you're going to be fine using a 0.6, and it will reduce your print times and make your parts stronger, in my experience. So, you know, if you're doing less thicker outer shells and less of them. Let's say, I'm do 3 outer shells with my 0.4 versus 2 with my 0.6 because the width on the 0.6 is larger. So it's basically the same thickness as a 0.4 with 3, except I'm doing 2. Not only is my print speed lowered, but also that's less lines to have to worry about adhering, so it usually results in a stronger part. And same thing I've noticed when I go to like a 0.3 layer head on a 0.6, it's very strong. Like they're very strong parts. I have one machine here that had a massive print fail. I got to rebuild the hot end, but it had a 0.8 in it. And the parts that came off that thing were insanely strong. Yes, the layer lines were very visible. They looked uniform and everything, but they're thicker, so you notice them more. But dear God, the parts were strong as hell. So, all right. Thoughts on the Bamboo X1? Not my cup of tea. I don't like stuff that makes you have to buy all their stuff. So, like I even get irritated with Creality and some of the choices they make that restricts it or makes it harder to repair or upgrade the machine. And I have seen stuff for the for this, because I think we were looking, I can't remember what we were talking about, but I just pulled up the P1P. That's their cheaper printer. And like, you're going to be locked into using their stuff. If you want to modify it, you want to do fancy stuff, you have to buy their parts. So if that sounds appealing to you, and you want to, you don't care about what's going on in the software, because this is, as far as I know, it's all closed source. They won't let anybody look at the code. They won't even share the firmware with anybody to even like try to disassemble and look and see what they're using. So this is not like, this is like the iPhone of printers, basically. You can't touch it. The company thinks the users are so stupid they shouldn't be able to modify anything. They're the iPhones of printers. So yes, they work, but you're pretty limited. So I personally wouldn't get one. I feel like a lot of people here would probably not be their target demographic. I don't know how their support is, so I can't be like, I don't know if they're as good as like Ultimaker stuff, but given the price point that they're selling them at, I would probably not expect very good support or very prompt support, just because they are selling these for a decent price. But I would much rather have something that maybe isn't as pretty looking, but is more functional, if that makes sense. Am I making sense here? Like, I would rather have something that may not be as pretty to look at, or might need a little more work in terms of maybe I got to do a couple upgrades or something, versus something that I can't do anything to. The whole reason, like, I not only work on, printers and stuff and electronic stuff, I also work on my own, cars, and I got a motorcycle too that I do all my own maintenance. And one of the reasons I don't buy, I think Teslas are cool and everything, but the fact that they go out of their way to screw over people who try to repair them or even rebuild salvage ones, that is a very big and very strong belief I have, and I stick with that throughout my stuff, and unless something's really, really great and there's no alternatives, I typically will go with something that I can, upgrade and modify myself, and something that the company's not actively trying to screw people over, which is why I don't purchase Apple. Apple is actively anti-consumer with their devices and being able to repair them. So if you guys haven't been in the loop of that stuff, go look up Louis Rossman on YouTube here. He's a Apple repair shop, and he's been threatened by them to be litigated against just for running a business repairing Apple stuff, because he's not Apple authorized, even though he's probably a billion times better than any Apple authorized service center bullshit. But that's a rant for another one. And the other thing too with Bamboo, I know a lot of people that have been approached by them. They're paying people money to do reviews and promote the product. It's marketing. So, take that information, as you see fit. So, there could be bias there. Let's see here. Let's see. 3 Experiments says, is it possible to print PLA, PETG, ABS on a cold plate if I use adhesive? I'm setting up a print closet. I want to minimize power usage. So PLA, possibly. PETG, probably not. ABS, definitely not. ABS needs high temperatures. You need an enclosure, and you need a ambient temperature of 45 to 50 C with no draft. So you're gonna need an enclosure, especially even for PETG. You need an 80 C bed temp. PLA, you can sometimes get away with it if you use something like our easy mats would be your best bet in terms of stuff like that, like those mats that have the high adhesion. But definitely not PETG or ABS. Even if you can get it to stick to a sheet, it's gonna pull it up. So anyways, let's see. Tom Taylor said, I have an H2 light cure set at 0.6 nozzle, 0.3 layer height, 0.6 width. So far, bad prints with uneven layer lines. What do you use with 0.6 nozzle settings in the slicer? Same as, that sounds like what I use. I would look at the E-steps and make sure your E-steps are calibrated and make sure your motor's running smoothly. If you need to calibrate your E-steps, you can actually go to our website and hover over the tools menu, and you'll see an E-step calculator. And actually, or if you guys notice, we got a little, not a shout out, but Maker's Muse in one of his videos was actually using our E-step calculator on his phone in the video. And you can see like our website and everything there. I thought it was pretty cool. So, all right. El Ray says, is there anything you have to do to get the Zero Touch to work on the Easy V2? I'm assuming you mean the Easy Board V2. I fire up the printer and probe deploys, it doesn't light up or function. So you have to set it up as a BL Touch. If you guys have a CR Touch, whether it's our board or with another board, you have to set it up as a BL Touch. So that means you have 5 wires. You have your 2 end stop connections, and you have your 3 other connections. So power, ground, and signal. You know, another thing too, if you're between picking up like a CR Touch or, you know, our Easy ABL, our Easy ABL is a little bit more, and it is going on sale this weekend. But what you get with the Easy ABL that you will not get with a CR Touch is you actually get technical support. So you don't have to be asking a competitor on YouTube how to use a competitor's product because that competitor doesn't support their product. We actually support our Easy ABLs. So I did not get a bamboo. Kali was asking. I will not be buying a bamboo. It's not of interest to me. Paul Texas says, I want to put a pancake stepper for extruder. I have an Easy Board V2. The pinout for the motor is A1, B, B1. What is the connector pinout? The cable is removable at the motor end. Just hook them up in basically pin 1 is A, pin 2 is A1, pin 3 is B, pin 4 is B1. Just hook them up in that 1, 2, 3, 4 order and see if it works. If you get the motor shaking, flip one of the wires. But the thing is, how we reference it on our board might not even be how they're referencing it, because I've never actually heard of them reference it to A and A1 and B1. It's usually like A1, B1, A2, B2. So that motor is weird, but you're not going to hurt anything. Just hook up the 4 wires and do them in an order. So like it sounds like the order on that one is A1, B, B1. Hook them up in that order to the actual 4-pin JST. So, you know, pin 1 to A1, pin 1 to A, pin 2 to A1, pin 3 to B, and pin 4 to B1, and see if it works. If it doesn't work, then start switching wires around, you know, flip a pair here and there. When you have like a weird motor like that where they don't give you a pre-set up cable, then trial and error. But you're not going to blow the driver out if you're just switching the motors or switching the wires around. Just don't do it. Don't change the wiring while it's on. So turn the printer off, change the wiring, turn it back on, and then see what you end up with. So, all right. Let's see, our next question is Printing Rice. He says, I've got a Zero 10S installed upgraded Z coupler from the shop. I also installed the top Z alignment parts, but I need help with installation tips. Should I raise the X to the top of the Z or leave it at the bed? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Personally, if you're not putting a belt across the top of the 2 lead screws, I would leave the Z alignment parts off. Like, I'm assuming you mean like the little blocks that hold the bearings that the lead screw slides into. Those actually can cause issues on some printers. The only time I would say use them and make sure you line everything up correctly is if you're going to then put 2 pulleys on each lead screw and then put a closed loop belt between the 2 to link them. So, but maybe you can clarify. So 3D Experiments is the next one. For functional part strength, ASA/ABS, is there any advantage to using natural colors, so no additives? I tried Eson white ABS. It's worthless, no layer adhesion. So if you don't have layer adhesion with ASA or ABS, it might be more of an environment issue, meaning if you're in one, you should be in an enclosure for ASA or ABS. 2, you should have your bed at least 100 degrees Celsius, 110 if you want to be safe. And then your nozzle should be anywhere from 240 to 250, depending on the filament. We usually run a 245 nozzle temp and 110C bed temp for ABS. I have not used Eson's white ABS. Like I said, that you can actually see it. That's some random roll of ABS. I'm pretty sure it's some random Chinese brand. I don't even know what brand it is. I've had it for years, and that came out fine. But typically, if you're getting poor layer adhesion, it's because your ambient temperature is too low, so it's not going to bond correctly, if that makes sense. So, and also, if it's also not a high ambient temperature where you're printing, the previous layer that was just printed that you're printing on top of is starting to contract, which also then messes with the layer adhesion. So, I don't know what how you're printing on, but yeah, that's some general tests. We do have, there's a video, it's an easy tip about printing ABS where I did a quick video showing that. And I also always use the vision miner on my build plates when I print ABS, because ABS with PEI, whether it's smooth or textured, it can be hit and miss, and I'd rather just not have to worry about it. ABS, I definitely recommend using vision miner on it. See, Jay Moore, can you print ABS without enclosure? I'm going to tell you no. Yes, you can, but it doesn't work. Anybody who tells you either lives in the Sahara Desert where it's insanely hot, or they're printing small stuff and got lucky, or the filament they're printing with isn't actually ABS. It's all right. I'm going to cut the questions off here because I do want to get going. Are we going to the gun range? Okay. Oh, is that why Sean's here? Okay. So maybe Krista's going to get to pick out her first carry. So, and I'll get to shoot with my new Glock, which will be fun. Anyways, I digress. Anyone near us in Indiana want to go shooting? Let me know. Justin DeBell. Working with a friend designing speaker pods for his bike. Will be printed out of ASA for durability. Should I go with a 0.6 and use 0.3 layer height, or what do you recommend? If it's going to be finished, like you're going to prime it, fill it, and smooth it out, I would do a 0.6 nozzle and a 0.3 layer height. And many outer layers. So, yeah, I wouldn't trust Lightspeed with a gun. I think the IQ is too low. I'm just kidding around. I know who Lightspeed is. We give each other crap all the time. Don't get your panties in a bunch. All right, 30 experience. For replacement glass build plates, can I just get something from Home Depot like mirror, or does it have to be special material? No. So I use all flex plates, which is why this is going my under 7. But there was a time when I did use glass, and Vision Miner does work on glass if you guys look for something other than hairspray, because hairspray belongs in your hair, not on your printer. But yes, just go to Home Depot and get a mirror cut. I would recommend probably getting, like, if you got a Dremel, or with a sanding wheel, very lightly sand the edges down because they can be sharp. But yes, you can just go to Home Depot, get a mirror or get a piece of glass and put it on there. It's fine. Printing rice. What printers do you use in your print farm? So for ABS, if you get an ABS part from us and it's like one of our bulk printed parts, that came off probably one of our Ender 3 fleet. So we have mostly Ender 3 Pros. It's a mix of 3s and Pros. They're all kitted out the same way. Our tough extruders, tough tube. Most of them at this point now have our bimetal heat breaks in them, Meanwhile power supplies. There's a mix of 8-bit and 32-bit boards. As 8-bits die, we've been putting 32-bits in there. But all of them have easy ABLs. All of them have our solid bed mounts. All of them have our easy out filament sensors on them. And all of them have our Easy Flex 235 magnets and sheets on there. And typically we run the textured sheets on the print farm only because the reason we don't run smooth is when we print the LCD housings, we like to print them face down on the textured sheets because they look awesome. So we just keep them all on textured just to keep things simple. So, three experiences, I got 19 here. Yeah, I have a 26 and a 34. So I think Krista's looking at what was it? I don't know. We'll digress. If you guys want to chat, there is if you guys want to chat about that kind of stuff, there is a 2A section in our random section of our Discord server. So if you guys are into that kind of thing, I know some people don't like that kind of thing. If that's fine, but if you are, and you guys want to talk kind of that stuff, it's there's a random channel and you have to hit the little there's like an opt-in. So, anyways. Yeah, so that's what we use in our printer farm. The other printers are just all hodgepodge. In my office, I have no two of the same printers. Every printer in here is different. I have 3 enclosed ones. You got the Ender 6, the Ender 5 Plus, and then my custom built i3 style AM8 design. So, all right. Last one here. So Frank Castle is asking, ever thought about carrying the Z-belt lead screw replacement rod? Oh, so like changing it over to a belt system. There's a lot of other projects we have in the works right now. I'm not going to say those are a bad idea. But no, we haven't thought about it. I mean, if you want to, if anybody, whether you're a person that's making stuff like that, or you're an actual company, if you guys want to see if something will sell, if you want to have us sell it for you, you like kind of treat us like a marketplace almost, because we got a lot of people that have used us to launch their products because like we take care of all the shipping and the handling and the customer service. Let us know, like send us a message. Like all we can say is no. I'm pretty open at like, hey, hey, I don't know if this would sell, but hey, let me order 20 units and we'll see if it sells. If they keep selling, we'll keep carrying them. So yeah, let us know. But in terms of us doing something, I have not looked at that. We don't have any plans to do that. But I know Tor's watching, so maybe jot that down, Tor. If you get bored, we can look at something. And I do have one thing before we go, because I mentioned Tor's name. We have been working on some other printer stuff. We've been working on some other kits and things. And hopefully what will bring us towards like our own printers. So we're kind of like, we've been working on the Mercury 1 kits, and we've been working on some other things here as well. I'm trying to find pictures. Maybe it was in a meeting. Unless, Tori, you want to send me some stuff. But yeah, so basically I want to make, so like we started out with the, what is the name of it? The Mercury 1 kits. And then we're like, okay, well you need Ender 5 to do that, so let's make our own frame. So we have our own frame put together now. And they're like, okay, well we want to have a dual Z bed. So we're remaking the dual Zs and trying to make it so it would work with the Ender 5, but also be something that we could put together. So we're kind of modularizing a printer system that also then you can take like a part of it if you already have an Ender 5 and here's the Mercury 1 for the Core XY motion system. Here's our whole new bed system type of thing. So I'll tease that later, but I thought I had more pictures, but I was thinking of our meeting. It was a video call, so I did not take any screenshots. But we got some cool stuff that'll be coming out next year that is being worked on right now. So I'm hoping that we can have at the very least a kit printer out that whether you could convert an existing model like your Ender 5 over to our printer or buy literally an entire kit. So, and unlike some of the open source systems that are great, like your Vorons and the other stuff, we'll actually have proper full documentation that's correct along with assembly videos instead of half-assed, half-finished documentation that is either not finished or just wrong because things have been updated. So anyways, I hope you guys all have a very happy Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys are not going to put your Christmas decorations up until after Thanksgiving. That's the rule here in this house. God. Anyways, that's a rant for another time. So I hope you guys all have a good holiday. Again, we are closed today. We're closed tomorrow, but we will be open Friday. And the Black Friday deals go live midnight on Friday. So I will be monitoring the site. So I don't know if we'll be on live chat. But, Tor, if you're watching, if you're bored on Black Friday at midnight, feel free to log into live chat. So anyways, I will talk to you guys later. I hope you guys all have a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for watching. And as always, happy printing. I will see you guys on the next one.